Hi, this is Sturdy McKee, and I am just going to go through a patient intake process. I know you probably have one of these in place. Usually, at least in my experience, what I've seen with different practices is it's very much centered around the workflow of the front desk, and we're going to flip that a little bit and think about it from the perspective of the patient's experience. So this is a Google document. After we go through this, if you want it, just email me and I'll share it with you. But what you do is you amend it for your, put your letterhead, put your logo and stuff on it, and then anything that you want to change, you can. But, we have a special note here. Be sure not to move item number 3. So if we go through this, you look at the intake process checklist. You can use this for front desk training, for revising your current process. But when someone calls in or they show up, you ask for their name. Hi, may I have your name, please? And how about your phone number in case we get disconnected? Everybody's on their cell phone. People drive through tunnels. They go through other patches. You want to get their phone number, contact info, and name. Okay, thanks, Mr. Chen. Can we go ahead and get you scheduled for Thursday at 2 o'clock? Why would I offer them an appointment so early in the process? And this doesn't mean that I'm putting them on the schedule yet. I'm telling them I have Thursday at 2 available. And they're going to be kind of caught off guard, kind of surprised, right? If you need something to put them in the system, you can then ask for date of birth. You can then ask for whatever it is you need, because now you have justification. But think about this from the patient perspective. Think about this for when you call your dentist, or if you're trying to sell this to your front desk staff and get them on board with the new process. Why do they call their dentist? In most cases, it's to get an appointment. If they get off the phone, you get off the phone with your dentist's office and you don't have an appointment, was that a successful phone call? So if that's not a successful phone call, you want to make sure that you give them what they want. If we go through this entire process of taking all their demographic information and then offer them an appointment in 3 weeks or 6 weeks, as often happens, you can imagine, with different surgeons and specialists and dentists and orthodontists and people that they're calling to do this, that's a source of some anxiety. So if I'm in a heightened state, worried about when you can get me in, worried about all these other questions, and I don't know when I'm going to get in, whenever that might be, if I, as the front desk person, as the company, as the clinic, can offer them that thing that they're calling for and get that dialed in, I've taken care of that anxiety, that concern, that worry, that unknown, the uncertainty of the whole thing. So if I offer them the appointment early on in the process, now I can then turn around and say, okay, may I get your date of birth so that I can enter you into the EMR and get you on the schedule? Then you start the conversation, right? What are you coming in for? What's your diagnosis? Why are you coming to see us? Then the other key component here is ask about the patient's goals. You as a therapist, if you're watching this, and so many people get that during the eval, you talk to someone about their goals, and you've had patients that don't know, or their answer when you say, well, what are your goals for coming to see us? Well, my doctor sent me. They're not certain. So if we start this conversation earlier in the process, we get them thinking about and associating their desired outcome, the value that you're going to bring to them through the interaction and through their course of treatment. Now they're associating the course of treatment with their end goal, their end game. And very often there's not just a functional benefit, but there's also an emotional benefit to that. So if I'm a runner and I can't run, I can't be part of my peer group, go out with my friends, I want to do all that stuff, that's an emotional benefit to what I'm doing. If I want to spend time, get on the floor with my grandkids, but I can't get up and down very well, that's something that gives me an emotional benefit way beyond just the functional aspects. So if you can plant that seed, start that conversation early in the process at first contact, at the first phone call, now you've got the person making that association more clearly. And for those people that aren't quite sure, you can have your staff, you've talked to them about, well, the therapist is going to ask you when you come in. So that's the next thing. If they say, well, I don't really know, my doctor sent me, well, think about that a little bit, because Dr. So-and-so, the therapist here, is going to ask you that question at your first visit. So they're better prepped when they come in. It makes your life easier. And of course, if you know what their goals are, what they want out of it, it's going to be much easier to get buy-in on the plans of care and ensure that people show up more consistently. Then, of course, you can go through the rest of the questions. Who sent them? Are we going to capture that as a physician name, another source, their friend? Is it a local a strategic partner, business, capture that so you know about your marketing, and then get all their other demographic information in email so that you can send them their confirmation, any paperwork, directions, links, other stuff. End up the call, confirm your time and location and directions. Make sure if your place is hard to find, like one of our clinics is on the 8th floor, another's on the 2nd floor without much signage out front, make sure they know how to find it and where they're going to go. And you set expectations around paperwork. Again, please come 10 minutes early or what have you. Confirm their email address one more time, and then go ahead and send them and confirm the appointment. Hope that's helpful. Again, if you want a copy of this, just email me at sturdymckee@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to share it with you. Thanks.